Hi guys, Roxanne here from Tiny Home Living. Well, it is a cloudy, windy, rainy, off and on, kind of miserable day. So I came out to the new tiny house kitchen, lit the fire, and I'm going to bake my scones out here. Mostly just because I have so much more room and I just love being in this kitchen. This is my happy place now, even though the other half isn't finished. I am also making ribs for supper today, so I'm going to put the ribs in the oven as well and get two things done at once. There's no sense in having the wood stove on and wasting all that heat and all that wood. So again, instead of turning the stove on using propane, I will cook dinner in here as well. And also get the scones made for church in the morning. Kill two birds with one stone, or three, or four birds. Anyway, let's get started. It was chilly in here too. It was like 42 degrees Celsius, or sorry, Fahrenheit. So I've got the fire going good now. I just threw a couple more logs on. I checked the temperature. It's just above 350. Now I closed these vents down, so I'm kind of still getting to know this. If those are all the way open, the fire burns faster and hotter. So I damped them down a bit. I closed this to get the flue pipe to get the heat going around the oven, and I'll check it again in a few minutes. If that doesn't get back up to my 375, I will open these up a bit and get the fire burning a little bit hotter again. Now I'm just gonna weigh my flour. I've got the pantry right here. As you know, I've got my food vaults right there, so I'm just opening the food vault and I will just get the flour directly out of there because I'm not quite set up the way I want to be in this kitchen. Of course, I'm sort of half here and half there, but I'll get the flour weighed and get on with the scone mix. See how much I can spill on the floor in that few feet between here and there. There's usually some to vacuum up when I come to clean up. Yeah, a little bit more. Oops, too much. Good enough. I will also keep flour in the scooper that comes in each food vault to flour the counter with to knead these. So I'll reset this, get my sugar. I really would like to organize those food vaults differently, but they're so heavy once they're filled. I guess they're gonna have to stay where they are. So I'll get my sugar in here. I weigh everything. I had a little bake shop for years, and if you want consistency in your recipes, that really is the best way. All bake shops weigh their ingredients. Sometimes some even weigh their egg whites and egg yolks and everything, because of course the eggs can vary quite a bit. I can see that with mine. Now the other thing I do is I actually weigh, this is a double batch of scone mix, so it's 1674, so about 836 is what I want for one scone. Just kind of pull it apart. 876 is what I want, or 836, sorry. Get some more. 812. 827. 835, good enough. Now I've got two balls and I will roll them out. Now I think the mistake a lot of people make with their scone mix, I have a friend that keeps asking for the recipe and it's just like, it's just scones. I mean, every scone on the planet is pretty much the same thing. I think the main thing is don't over mix it or over beat it or like roll it, pound it. So I just kind of smooshed it together basically. And now I'm just going to flatten it out and then cut it into 8 pieces. So you can see, like, I don't know if I even rolled it for a minute. So just roll it and turn it and roll it and turn it for like a minute at the most. It's sticking to the counter, so get a little more flour underneath it. And then I just press it out to the closest thing to a circle and then cut it into 8 wedges. Now I'm barely pressing it on the counter because of course I don't want to scratch up. I should be doing this on the cutting board over there, but anyway, I'm so used to doing it this way. So I just keep cutting them in half, 8 pieces, and then I'll put them on parchment board, check my oven for temperature, because I wanted it that 375 when I first put them in, because I want that baking powder to make them puff up nicely. And you need that proper temperature to do that. Okay, I'm going to be a good girl and transfer this to the cutting board to cut. Because I know Christopher will see the video, and then I can be quicker about it too. But Chris will see the video and say, "What?" So I'll just be a good girl. Actually, having this cutting board here, one of those things I found at HomeSense, and they had a whole stack of them, and of course I haven't seen them ever again. So we might have to make one with the leftover scraps from the paddock wood that we did the kitchen cart with, because that would make a great cutting board. And I want the one that is the right size to sit on the stove here, because as you know, it's a 24-inch range, not a 30. Gone over that many times. You gain 6 inches of space by going with a 24-inch range, gain another foot from the sink, so that's basically almost a whole bank of drawers plus uppers that you gain by doing that. And I just haven't missed having a full-size range. So anyway, now the last thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of sugar on top of these. You don't have to do that, but I always sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top. Okay, just a little sprinkle of sugar. I just find it makes them look a little more appealing. Again, it is more sugar, so you can easily not put that on. Now I did get my temperature up to 375, and I also keep forgetting, I want to ask the company about getting, oh, that little thermometer's in my way now. That thing's a real pain in the butt. I kind of need it in there because the one on the door does not work properly. And I'm going to have to work on getting this back up to 375. Oh, it's just under 375 now. Yeah, it dropped a bit because I had the door open. But I did put a couple more pieces of wood on, so it's going pretty good now. And I did open these vents back up again, the 2 on the door, to get it going. Yeah, it's dropped to 350 now, but it shouldn't take too long to get back up to 375. Opening the door does make a difference. I'm not sure if I mentioned those are pineapple coconut scones I'm doing today. I just add in whatever flavor I want. Blueberries, cranberries, pecans, anything you want. Mangoes, just about anything you want. Just add in whatever ingredients you want. I often do 2 ingredients. Dark and white chocolate are one of my favorites. But those I will time at about 15 minutes and then turn them. And since the maid is not showing up again today, I guess it's time to clean up the mess. You can see they're fluffing up pretty good. Still only a little over 350 though. The top ones might fluff up more. I can't see them, but I don't want to open the oven door. Timer has gone off. Ooh. The top ones are burning on the top. This is something I'm really struggling with this oven, is the stuff burning on the top. I'll try these as well. I'll put them down on the bottom. That baking powder is making them fluff up really nicely, but the burning on the top I'm finding is happening with a lot. And then look at the other one that was on the shelf, like barely cooked. So that again is one of the struggles with learning how to cook with this thing. I'll put my thermometer back in there. Try to make sure your hands aren't touching the oven walls, because that's going to make a difference too. And of course I just realized that I didn't cut my scones in half to make little scones for church. Anyway, I guess if somebody wants the scone, they have to have a whole one or share. Okay, let's see what we got here. Timer went off again. And they're just burning all that crap. Essentially should be white on top. Now they're nice and fluffy. They're nice on the bottom. These are the ones that were on the bottom first. These are the ones that were, ow, on the top. No, these ones were on the top. That's why the top burned. These ones were practically raw, so I put them in for another 10 minutes, and then I moved them to the top, so the top is burning. Don't know what to do with this. Gotta figure this out. Anyway, they're not a write-off because they're still edible. These are nice and fluffy. They cooked quicker than in the propane stove, but at least they're not ruined. That's the main thing. And these ones are the fluffiest. Don't know why. But they're not ruined. They're just much darker on top than they normally are. Before I sign off, I was still at about 350 at most, so not my 375 temperature. The thing that puzzled me when I bought this oven was the solid pan. I've got it turned upside down so that the pans slide off of it easily, and one rack. I learned last year, if you saw my pizza video, I put this solid pan way up here at the top, so I had a very small oven. And what that did was create a shallow pizza oven, the way you see in the pizza stores. So the heat rises to the top and it doesn't have very far to go, so it's forced down onto the top of the pizza and cooks it beautifully. So what I think is happening is by using this solid pan, it's making the oven shallower, right? So I'm going to see if I can get another chrome rack. If I had a chrome rack where the solid one is, then the heat is going to be circulating from the oven, the bottom of the oven better. That's my theory, because again, like I said, I created a pizza oven by moving that solid rack way up, I think to the second notch in the side of the oven. So very shallow, and it's a little bit arched on the top there too, so sort of like a pizza oven. And I obtained 550 degrees by doing that. So I think that's going to be the trick. I'm going to look for another, see if I can get another chrome rack, and that way you've got the full height of the oven and it's not forcing the heat up so much. Okay, now I'm happy. Mess is cleaned up, except this side. Don't look at this side. I've got a bunch of canning jars cleaned. I want to do more mushrooms when I get to the commercial Costco. Well guys, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. And I did try a scone. It was very fluffy and delicious.